Hello. Grandview Park has embarked on its 50th anniversary year of operation. The area currently known as Grandview Park was the location for the Marshall County Park and Recreation Board. The Marshall County facility was dedicated in 1974 on May 4th. So this weekend is hitting up our 50th anniversary or 50th birthday. When we first opened, the park opened with 125 acres. We had a par 3 golf course, a clubhouse, a swimming pool, a bathhouse, 2 bathhouses, and an amphitheater with 2 group picnic shelters. A tennis center was started as well at that time with 7 tennis courts. The park at that time was known for its tennis up through the early 80s or mid 80s and late 80s is when the tennis was huge. And over that time, during that period, we were actually trying to incorporate more growth for the park. So the park actually expanded the 9-hole par 3 golf course into an 18-hole par 3 golf course. The whole time acquiring more and more land around the area by acquiring Darwish Farm and other farms in the area to take us to a 650-acre park. So that gave us the capabilities in the early 80s. 1980, actually, they did the dedication for the 4 traditional cabins that were built back on Cabin Drive. That started to bring people into the park to stay from a tourism perspective, and that gave us a little bit of a glimpse into where the park has come to at this time of in our lives. The park was originally the Poor Farm. The Poor Farm was closed in 1962, and in 1965, legislation was created to allow the Marshall County Park and Rec Board to then manage parks and recreation throughout the county of Marshall. The Marshall County Commission still is a component to Grandview Park because they assist with our funding for the park itself. Since we have embarked on all of this, we've added a driving range to the park, which was something that they felt was necessary. And all of this has changed. So the one nice thing about Grandview is that we've been able to take what we have and turn it into something as times change, as trends change, we've been able to grow with those times. So since that time, and from 1980 to 1987, the park saw the biggest change in visitorship. They started to see 14,000 people come to the pool. In 1980 to 1985, they had what they called the mega coaster or something like that at the pool. Supersonic slide, and they put people on boogie boards and sent them down, and they skipped right on out of the pool. So those type of things were things that brought people to the park. And now you see that we've changed a lot of that. That only lasted for 5 years. We got to the point where our par 3 golf course, being a most beautiful par 3 golf course in the area, unfortunately extremely hilly. And let's face it, our age group's a little lazy, and we kind of have to have a golf cart to play golf these days. So that being said, we didn't have very many people playing anymore, and the park had to make a tough decision, which was to close that par 3 golf course and figure out how else we can utilize that facility. So in 2002 and 2003, Donnie Mason from the County Commission made this decision to help try to revitalize Grandview Park. So at that time, they started with 3 deluxe cabins, the event center, which is what we call the banquet hall at this point, and they moved the miniature golf and playground area. The original miniature golf and playground area were by the Red Barn and right outside the barn area. Those items were completed right around 2006 and really started to get Grandview Park on the map as far as bringing it back. In 2008, they actually hired me. So I was actually the opportunity to come here and help see the growth of the park and help carry out what the county commission and the Park and Recreation Board has done. And I'm just going to go through a few of those items that we've seen from that growth over this past few years. So in 2010, we added the disc golf courses. So at that time, there were 9 courses in the state of West Virginia. We now see over 110 courses in the state of West Virginia. In 2012, we added an 8-line zip line canopy tour. It goes through the hills, goes through the trees and forests and here in Grandview, and you have 3 suspension bridges. So it's a little different environment. And we started to brand ourselves as that outdoor adventure park. We have other locations that are close by that are beautiful resorts and spas, and now we're a great complement to that concept. In 2015, we were able to add an adventure park. So we added the 42-foot high ropes course with a free fall drop, giant swing that you have 3 people swing at a time. You've got the climbing wall for the little kids and the Euro trampoline for the little kids as well. So now we have something for all ages, which has been a huge addition to the park. In 2016, we had the opportunity to build some more lodging. So what we did, we wanted to be unique. So we went out on the architects from Fairmont, designed these beautiful treetop villas. So we extended the road. The road actually ended right by the traditional cabins. So we extended that road out to the end of our property line and put 4 cabins on stilts that are now all ADA accessible. They allow anybody to be able to use a treetop concept. Now, around here, we didn't want to put a tree in them because they don't last very long sometimes, so we didn't want to have to remove those. In 2021, we had the opportunity to add an RV park. We finally made a decision on how to utilize best that old par 3 golf course. It was beautiful property, still had beautiful views of Moundsville, and we were able to take that location and say, you know what, we're going to stick with the grand view, and that's where we put a 40 site, full hookup, 2 beautiful bathhouses with some tent camping areas as well, right there at the right there on the old golf course area. In between the barn and the clubhouse, we also have a stage. The clubhouse we turned into a full service bar restaurant. We have a stage that we do music. This year, for our 50th anniversary, we're doing music every weekend. And we have a full-size paintball course that you can go ahead and shoot each other and have some fun. And take it out on the family or other employees if you so desire to get that corporate thing going. And now in 2023, one of the biggest additions, now that we've started to incorporate a lot more lodging, being the county park still here in Marshall County, and adding the RV park, the pool we had built back in 2010 just wasn't going to be a big enough pool to handle the type of clientele or the size of clientele that we were expecting. So what we did, we went out, we took the time, we spent the money, and we built the correct type of pool that needed to be here. So now we have, I don't even like to call it a pool, it's a water park. It contains beach entry for everybody's access. It does have a handicap lift if you need assistance to get into the water. We have 2 nice slides. One is a enclosed slide that has psychedelic lights going down it. The other one is an open slide. We have a diving board on the deep end. We've got lap swimming opportunities. We've got the climbing wall on the side in the deep end. We've got 3 basketball hoops, so you can have a little basketball fun. And in that beach entry, you have a few water splash pad type activities. So you can kind of do a few different things. So over the years, I mean, that's how this park has grown. And one of the things that I'm sitting at right now is an area that Don Mason used to tell me, Craig, we used to be able to see Moundsville from the Shelter 5. I'm like, before you retire, Donnie, we're going to make that happen. And about 7 years ago, Rick Vargo, or actually it's 8 years ago now, Rick Vargo and I came out here and we cut down a lot of the trees that were in the way. And now this has become a scenic overlook for Marshall County. It overlooks the city of Moundsville. We have the Almost Heaven selfie swing that the state put 17 of across the state of West Virginia. So we just paved a nice path down with a railing, and we have one of my favorite things is an upside down tree with flowers in it. So all of those type of things are really cool to be able to do. So keep in mind, the operation of the park is still under the supervision of the Marshall County Park and Rec Board. It's a public corporation that has the authority to develop, manage, and control all park activities. So in the county of Marshall. So we are very excited. Come on out and visit. We're changing all the time. Our motto is every 6 months, something will be different. So let's make that happen.